almost 200 ancillary industries are dependent on real estate, and hence a growth in real estate will mean growth in those industries.
One of the most prominent factors that currently is unavailability of the ready-to-move-in category. Now we saw post the pandemic, consumers are wanting to buy ready-to-move-in properties. Developer confidence is back in the market.
RBI has kept the repo rate unchanged at 6.5%, and we are saying it as a pause because inflation has come down to 5.66% in the month of March 23.
New launches grew 86% to 147,780 units, highest in a quarter, from 79,530 units across these 8 major cities. Hello everyone, Namaskar, Salaam, Akal, Vanakkam. We are back with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com. This is India's first real estate focused podcast. It brings you updates, views, and insights about the realty sector and a deep dive into an industry trend or topic. This episode is going to do a deep dive around the latest report of PropTiger.com. We invited special guests Vikas Wadhawan, Group CFO, REA India, and Business Head, PropTiger.com, and Ankita Sood, Head of Research, PropTiger.com, Housing.com, and Makan.com, to do a deep dive and help us with their insights. The housing market continues to shine. Sales in January to March were up 22%. According to PropTiger.com's latest data, new launches surged 86% across top 8 cities. Hyderabad saw a maximum growth of 55%. Sales rose in Mumbai, Pune, Ahmedabad and Chennai. New supplies maintained upwards momentum, reaching an all-time high in the first quarter of 2023. Stay tuned for more details. India's top 8 primary residential markets showed strong performance during the January-March period this year, with both sales and new supply rising 22% and 86% year-on-year respectively, according to our latest PropTiger.com report. According to the report titled Real Insight Residential, January to March 2023, housing sales increased despite further hardening of interest rates on home loans. To tap rising demand, real estate developers aggressively brought new products to the market. Sales rose to 85,850 units across 8 cities in January to March 2023, from 70,630 units in the year-ago period. New launches grew 86% to 147,780 units, highest in a quarter, from 79,530 units across these 8 major cities. PropTiger.com, the country's leading digital real estate brokerage company, is owned by REA India, the country's largest full-stack real estate technology platform that also owns Housing.com and Makan.com. The Indian housing market is witnessing significant growth, with both sales and new launches on the rise. The first quarter of 2023 definitely brings cheer to the residential realty market, although the different markets showed divergent trends. Hyderabad witnessed maximum growth in sales of 55%. In Maharashtra's 2 key markets, Mumbai and Pune, sales grew by 39% and 16% respectively. The residential market in Delhi NCR, Kolkata and Bengaluru remained subdued and witnessed a drop in property demand. We spoke to Vikas Wadhawan, Group CFO, REA India and Business Head, PropTiger.com, and Ankita Sood, Head of Research, PropTiger.com, Housing.com and Makan.com, to do a deep dive and help us with the insights from this data. Listen in. Hello and a warm welcome, Vikas and Ankita. Delighted to have you for this show.
Happy to be here, Gaurav.
Likewise, Gaurav. Thank you.
Ankita, first to you. Both demand and supply across the top 8 cities have registered double-digit growth. New supply reached an all-time high with a whopping 86% year-on-year growth, but sales have grown at a relatively slower pace of 22%. Why, according to you, are sales lagging new supply by such a significant margin?
So, Gaurav, yes, we've just concluded with our first quarter. We follow the calendar year in terms of reporting these numbers. And yes, both demand and supply have registered a double-digit growth. However, if I look at the data, sales have not been able to keep the same pace as the new supply. Coming to the question as to why sales are not keeping pace with the new supply, a lot of factors have come into play. We know that though investors have returned to the market, majority of the property purchase is happening through the end user segment, and that too, most of them are first time home buyers. Now, having said that, one of the most prominent factors that currently is playing, across the cities is the unavailability of the right product in the market, especially in the ready to move in category. Now we saw post the pandemic, consumers are wanting to buy ready to move in properties, and that is at a very limited supply right now. It's just closer to 18%, which is very low. So, yes, new supply is at an all time high. Developer confidence is back in the market. And then there was a lot of pent up supply. But sales has not been able to keep pace. But we could say that this is the pure appetite right now. This is completely end user demand. And wouldn't read much into the pace because, yes, the velocity is, it's pretty much in the momentum range.
Thanks, Ankita, for this perspective. Vikas, given the recent announcement by the Reserve Bank of India to pause rate hikes, and also there are positive indicators coming in over inflation numbers, it seems to be coming under control. The inflation genie seems to be getting bottled up, and there are also upbeat sales and launches so far as the realty sector is concerned. How do you think the realty industry will perform in the future?
Yeah, Gaurav. Before I respond to your specific question, I would what Ankita share. I would share my perspective. I'm a little bit more bullish, and I'm very confident that demand will follow the launches because there is already a lot of consolidation happened in the market, and the confidence of buyers, whether they are the end users or investors, is growing day by day in the market and in the industry. So we'll soon gonna see when the demand will catch up with the supply. Responding to your specific question related to RBI rate hike, I think it's a good signal that RBI has kept the repo rate unchanged at 6.5%, and this is a pause, and we are saying it as a pause because inflation has come down to 5.66% in the month of March 23, which is well within the target range of RBI. And I'm hoping if the inflation stays at this or maybe at a slightly lower level, then we don't see a reason of the repo rate going up further. In fact, then the RBI may look at tapering it down maybe in a couple of quarters' time. By hitting the pause button, RBI has given a clear signal that inflation doesn't seem to be a worry in the short term anymore. And this is a good signal for the economy as well as real estate industry, as we all are very cautious for the last few quarters that growing inflation can trip the positive momentum in the economy and hence the real estate industry. So the surge in new launches, as Ankita was talking about, shows the confidence of developers in the market. Right. And as I mentioned, I'm bullish about the market. The demand will going to follow. Gaurav.
Thanks, Vikas. Ankita, as per the Prop Tiger data, Hyderabad witnessed maximum growth in sales of 55% to 10,200 units during January-March from 6,560 units in the year-ago period. However, the prominent residential market, which is Delhi NCR and also Bengaluru, remained subdued and witnessed a drop in property demand on an yearly basis in the first quarter of 2023. How to explain this divergence in demand among metros?
So, Gaurav, like we all know, each city has different factors that play upon its property markets. For instance, residential market in Hyderabad picked up significantly only in the recent years on the back of favorable policy initiatives that were taken, and the growth in the IT sector. In terms of, if I talk about the commercial office offtake, there was a period of time when Hyderabad has also overtaken Delhi NCR in terms of commercial office space absorption. So various factors play into that. And of course, due to that commercial offtake, it trickles down into residential demand. Now, the slowdown in Delhi NCR, definitely one. As of now, the unavailability of ready-to-move-in homes and the high age of age of inventory, that I would attribute one of the most important reasons that there is a significant slowdown in terms of demand. But if you look at the actual numbers, and so it is not that bad as what we saw a few years back. The region suffers from legacy issues that definitely have now been streamlined with the coming of RERA. And, of course, the same appetite that we witnessed in the 2010 and 13 period, that's not back. So hence, it looks like that there is a slowdown in the market, but prominent developers at key locations are still doing pretty well. There are instances of projects being picked up, in a very less time period. So I wouldn't say that Delhi NCR is witnessing a slowdown. If we look at all the 5 regions together that constitute Delhi NCR, they have different dynamics. Ghaziabad is different. Gurgaon is pretty much trending right now due to the out-migration of Delhi NCR, from the Delhi region. So wouldn't attribute this as a slowdown, just that the right product is not available for the home buyers to take. And of course, not witnessing the kind of peaks that we saw in 2010 and 13.
Thanks, Ankita. Vikas, looking ahead, what are the key drivers that could stimulate growth of the economy, and how will they impact the real estate sector? Can we expect a reciprocal relationship where the growth of the real estate sector drives the economy, or vice versa? This is also because the real estate sector has a lot of multiplier effects across the economy. Given that the real estate sector has historically been a critical driver of economic growth, what factors do you anticipate will be the most influential in driving the future of growth in this sector, and how will they, in turn, impact the broader economy?
Sure, Gaurav. I think somewhat of answer is actually hidden in your question itself. Real estate has been a critical driver for economic growth in India, and for the right reason. At the end of the day, real estate contributes 7 to 8% of India's GDP, and it is expected to grow to 11-12% in the coming years. So real estate definitely plays a very, very critical role in economic growth. In terms of the key drivers that could stimulate growth in the economy, there are several factors, but if I have to point out 2 or 3 strong reasons, I think one strong reason is urbanization, massive urbanization, which is happening in India, and which is driven by a never before focus in expanding infrastructure by Modi government. I think this is one big driver, which is fueling growth in our Indian economy, and also will drive massive growth in real estate sector. Look at India is one of the most expensive countries in terms of logistics cost, the cost of moving goods per kilometer, right? And this kind of investment in infrastructure will significantly bring the logistics cost down, and hence means a big benefit in manufacturing sector, which is what a prime focus for the government of India right now. So that helps. Second big driver is digitization of economy, and I would say the financial inclusion. I think that again is a big focus area of the government of India, and thanks to the startup ecosystem in India, which is growing and also driving significant growth in this sector. So these are 2 big factors, and the third factor, if one has to point out, I would say the growing middle class in India, right? Because the growth in the middle class will drive demand in real estate. and will be the beneficiary of massive urbanization, which is happening in India. So these are three factors from economic standpoint. But if I have to point out how real estate will gonna help the broader economy, it's a chicken and egg story, right? If the economy is going to see positive momentum in real estate sector, because the growth of economy will drive the income of individuals, which in turn will increase the aspiration of the individuals or home buyers in the country. And we know that there is a massive gap in the demand and the availability of homes in different segments. So that's one area. And as I said earlier, it is contributing 7 to 8% of the GDP and is expected to grow to 10 to 12%. So that itself shows how real estate growth can help drive economic growth, right? And almost 200 ancillary industries are dependent on real estate, and hence a growth in real estate will mean growth in those industries. So these are the few reasons which I want to call out, Gaurav.
Thanks so much, Ankita and Vikas, for sharing your deep insights and perspectives, and also taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation for this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thanks, Gaurav.
Thank you, Vikas and Ankita, for these insights. That's it from us for this episode. We shall be back again with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com with information and insights on the real estate industry. You can catch the episode on Housing.com, on the Housing.com app, on earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Ghana.com and JioSaavn. Take care and stay safe.